Well, we're here, but we're not starting just yet. Match pause to kick things off. It wouldn't be an ECL game without some sort of tech issue, and something that will be resolved shortly, hopefully. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the mic with you all this evening. And Take Flight Unjustified kicking off Counter-Strike 2 in North American ECL. I don't think we're going to see the dualies this time, Nate. It became a bit of a mainstay at the tail end of Global Offensive's existence, and I don't believe we'll see them now. They feel a lot different. As a very vocal dually enjoyer, I do not enjoy them anymore on the pistols.
I was going to say, I haven't even tried it.
It feels bad.
Does not surprise me. But what does is a very short pause at the start of the game. We are finally into the action, Boggs. It didn't take nearly as long as I would have feared. Again, Unjustified versus Take Flight, map 1 of 3. Unjustified starting on the T side here of their own map pick. To the action we go. It is 2 sets of utility for the attacking side, 1 set for the defense, spread across 2 players, and full USPs versus full Glocks.
Yeah, a lot of armor for Unjustified, or utility rather, for Unjustified, not armor, but it's going to be interesting to see how it works here. Kojo sitting around the pillar, picks up a 1 and 2 as MDS helps out, making a 3rd for Kojo. Great flash assists from Zayler, who I believe has 4 on the round. And Arcade, the last one standing while his teammates blind and battered. He's going to try and get at least a couple of exit kills. The bomb rests at the feet of all 5 Take Flight members, who are deciding it's best to turn the bomb into an egg and make A side a chicken coop.
Nowhere for him to go. At this point, he's just looking for damage, hoping for something. A probing player, perhaps, going for a flank fast through B, who would be towards mid by about now. But, of course, no one is. As you mentioned, all 5 are on the A site, holding down that bomb. And Arcade, he's going to try to entry in. In fact, he might even find something through the exit sign if he's lucky, but I have to imagine someone's watching from the plat. And of course, the Glock at range is going to struggle in that endeavor.
Yeah, even if he gets 2, I think that would be a good result for Arcade, but it's not going to be easy at all. Already spotted, too, has to make a move in. Does get a dink onto MDS, but there's that finishing frag. And there's that first round for Take Flight, a flawless one. I agree with Sandman there, going for the jump. So was Zayler with that last kill. And Unjustified, no bomb plant, no kills, no damage. Everyone in the range of $2,000 to $2,050 will not be investing much. Just a smattering of utility here. A couple of flashbangs, a smoke. Take Flight have pulled out the dual Berettas on Kojo. Actually, we'll see how those work. More looking at the MP9s, though, in Sandman, MDS, and Zayler's collective hands to go ahead and get some cash.
Trying to do something with their numbers at the least, but MDS and Gabe combining fire, 4, and looking for the 5th as well. Kojimo did chime in with the dualies. They did find 1 in this round. 2nd quickly on the board for Take Flight, and again, a flawless one. Yet to lose a player on this defensive side. Starting things off well, Take Flight. But Unjustified do get the rifles out in round number 3. This is where things could get difficult. Kojo, if he wanted to, he could buy an op in this round, but it's a bit of a bonus. No, I stand corrected. He is going to bring out the big green in round number 3. It's full AKs, a little bit lacking in utility for Unjustified, but it should be more than enough to get across the line if they can hold their distance against the MP9s.
Yeah, they're going to have to go Take Flight into some aggressive peaks, and the nade damage is not going to help out. Lake and Cyrix already down considerably into that 1 dink territory. Arcade eats an HE2. This unconfirmed damage doing massive work early on for Take Flight. And the artillery definitely getting some good communications. The mortar strikes coming on through. Still a couple more AGs available for Take Flight, too. This is going to get a little ugly for Unjustified here. And now they're going to a close range angle up towards E-Box. MDS ready to rumble. Molly out. 1 and almost 2. Lake should have burned close to it. Only takes 3rd on that 2nd AG thrown down. And Gabe has Kojimo watching his back with the op. Good Molotov. Gabe should still be fine here. Don't think there's going to be much room for Unjustified. It's again going to be damage is the name of the game. The rotations are starting to suck away all of that free map space.
Yeah, Kojimo with this support position, really setting up Gabe for success. Smokes will come down. Kojimo thinking about jumping through it, but spotted as it blooms, instead falls away. Gabe on flat is now isolated. A possibility for Lake, but no, the HP does him in, and a lineup for Gabe gives him a little bit of a clip. 3 kills to close out the round, and a third on the board to boot for the team. CT side showing no signs of slowing down. They have prevented the bomb plant in every scenario. They've kept their numbers up. They maintain the op on Kojimo, and they maintain complete control of this first map thus far.
Yep, very strong start from Take Flight, and even better now that we are on MR12. In case you guys have been living under a rock for the last couple of months, Counter-Strike 2 is 12-round halves, hence why you say round 4 of 24 up at the top there. And so, pistol rounds do mean a little bit more in CS2, and of course, putting your opponent on ecos going to make things so much easier for you. Take Flight, a very easy opportunity for a 4-0 start. That's a very good look early on, CT side Anubis. Of course, things might change when we get to the second half, but Take Flight looking very comfortable so far, confident with the aim, as we see Sandman sitting for that smoke. Sprays away wildly, only able to take down 1 on the tap. Good response there. Wolffe takes a leg shot, I believe, and that nade did not go where MTS wanted it to. Nice little drive-by, and now Zayler falls as well. Unjustified opening up the A site, upgrading to AKs and rifles. Now have themselves a site to hold on to, an MP9 and an op to retake. Make it just an op, as Gabe gets caught off guard. Lake in the canal, just ready to send him upriver. I think Kojo's going to save now, or at least attempt to. Unjustified would be wise to hunt this down.
They would, and Wolffe on 43 HP with only a P250 might as well go for it. The only weapon he would be able to recover is an MP9. Not really worth his time. Worth the save. Kojo might get contact here. Player walking up. It is Wolffe. P250 player. Time is everything. The op misses. The dualies out. Excuse me. They do find their mark. You said they felt weird. Kojimo makes them sing. Find that the hunt is coming. The no scope of all things doesn't quite connect. So Lake will get the upgrade to the op and take down Kojimo to boot. Unjustified finally on the board on their attacking side. They do have a good amount of riflery to boot as well. They did win a save round. I wanted to say, don't discount the Deagles. And let me tell you, they really did sing true in that one.
Yeah, nothing like a full running 1-dig to open up a site. That's one thing for sure. The animations can make things that aren't actually a full run. Don't know what that was. Whoa! Cyrix wins the op duel against Kojo out towards Canal proper. Blinded apparently at least a little bit, but the peeker's advantage not favoring Kojo there. Cyrix climbed on that angle. Good opening here for Unjustified. That money, which had built up strongly for Take Flight, given their success in the first 3 rounds, has already evaporated. Unjustified with man advantage, a lot more room to work. Converging on towards the B site. Nade going in here. That'll be a good return onto Gabe, but he's been a very strong anchor here of the B site. MDS with that salvaged op here as well. 1 on A, 1 in mid. Mid being Sandman. No real utility left for the CT side either. Just a couple of flashbangs and 1 smoke remaining. MDS a little early on the shot. Utility now going to come on through for Unjustified. Smoke's going down. Flash is ready to go through. Gabe holding an angle. Only 1 around the pillar though. MDS burning alive. Finds 0. Seb will fall, but Sandman meets the Sandman. Zayler, the last one alive, in a 1v3. The save might not be a bad idea here, considering the lack of economy on the CT side. 1v3, not high odds.
I don't think it's possible. I think Zayler knows it as well. He's going for exits. Holding in toward the middle. Nice little off angle in this corner. I think he'll have to move when the bomb goes off. Might be a little bit close, but I do like this position. I think it's a very niche, a very esoteric angle that no one would expect, but not sure anyone's going to exit in his direction either. Wolffe. So he'll just walk right on by and go towards T spawn instead. Will Zayler swing? That's the question. He will. Will he get the kill? No is the answer. Only a dink. He took so much less damage than I was expecting in that corner, but that's an aside. Either way, no successful kills, but at least he survives to fight another day. The economy of Take Flight has been pruned all the way down to nothing. They have around 2K in the bank apiece. Might buy an upgraded pistol, but even that might prove to be too costly. No, they'll go for it. Eagle for Gabe, 5-7 for Sandman. MDS and Kojo going to full save instead. Paltry weapons that could work out, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, definitely a very low percentage round for Take Flight, really relying on that M4. Sandman with a 5-7 could chime in for something, but the odds of that are not very high here. I will say, though, the M4A4 does feel quite nice in CS2. I'm enjoying using that again for the first time in a very long time. And the A1S, not as good. I mean, it's still good, but the fire rate difference, and it just feels like the M4 spray is very easy to use in CS2 so far. Oh, the A4 for 200 bucks more, definitely worth it. He has the cash. Good Molotov, good utility in. Spray from Wolffe will not get anything, although he does find the headshot. It's late to get the first two on the site. MDS, rather, Gabe with the one. And then MDS in the long rotation. Ready for the backstep, but Arcade still able to get that done. Parity restored here, all tied at 3. The guns can come forth again for Take Flight, although they should lack an op. Unjustified now beginning to grow that momentum here. We're just about we're literally at the halfway point of the half already, Nate. And this is where in Go, we would still be like, all right, this is still early days. We're at the halfway mark.
Yeah. There's no ambiguity in the halfway mark either. You know, it was 7 or 8. It was around when you called the halfway in the old Counter-Strike Go days. And now it's 6 exactly. It's 12 round half, so there's no ambiguity there. As you mentioned, the A1S and the A4, kind of compare them, but you don't really have to anymore. You can put them both on your buy menu. They serve different needs. Spamming a smoke, maybe an A1S is the call. Going for multi-kills, holding down a site, maybe an A4 is the answer. And the luxury of having both is definitely not to be discounted. Aggression from Take Flight perhaps towards the main of A, but Sailor doesn't force the issue. He actually just falls back despite the flash from his teammate. Unjustified. Poised rather passively in this direction as well. One up towards Rugs, the second one down below and towards the canals. This is a very good play from Unjustified, getting a lot of control towards the middle. In the mid-round, only about a minute left to make their decision. Arcade rapidly peeking the doors, has the right idea, but doesn't have the conversion. Instead, it's Sandman to crack open the round, winning that early duel. Kojumo is now assisting from the exit side as well. He should have at least one eagle. Second, perhaps secured. Wolffe tries to trade, but no, Kojumo is ready for that. And Sailor, while he is mollied off, while he does have to give away the site, his team has been set up incredibly well for an A site retake.
No bomb plan just yet. In fact, where is the bomb? It's out mid. Yeah. No bomb plan available for Unjustified. Time becoming a factor. Sailor caught napping. At least one kill here for Unjustified as time gets down to 15 seconds. They gotta make a play, gotta make a move. Gabe with one, Zeb with another. Gabe will double it up with the AUG, the good old-fashioned AUG. And Take Flight back to the win column after a slide of 3. Opera covered as well. Still 3 alive, solid for the economy. Not ideal, of course, but still all right. Unjustified going right back to the buy. Bomb plants going to bolster that economy always, and the 3-round streak too, not to mention winning with that eco back at round number 4. Very even buy here, but the money still favoring Unjustified. Take Flight in a dangerous spot, economically speaking, as we start to get into the latter portion of this first half. Good nade damage again, though, from Take Flight. That's one thing they've been consistently good at, is chunking down these players on Unjustified with the HEs. Cyrix to 26 HP, and he hasn't seen hide nor hair of a human.
Lake as well was naded down quite low. That put him within a one-shot headshot territory. The nade over towards those stairs into Canal. Incredibly punishing. What hit Cyrix down to 26, what hit Lake down to like 56. Take Flight have been doing their homework. The lack of skyboxes can definitely help as well. Arcade getting control middle, but again, this has been Take Flight's typical standard play. Playing a little bit more passive, waiting for the players to walk into the choke points, and then taking them down, making them have a little bit of a false sense of security. Arcade in the smoke might find one by the... Okay, never mind. There's a little luxury of this angle and the timing, but he falls. Seb will eventually trade from these stairs that were naded earlier in the round, but He trades and finds himself alone. 1 versus 4. His positioning understood. He at least has the bomb this time around. I guess that's something you could say works in his favor, but a 1 versus 4 does seem nigh impossible. We'll walk forward in towards A. There's already 2 players with the op pose. That should be a free kill for Kojimo, and it is. We were wondering if his op play would be up to par given the finicky nature of CS2, and thus far it has not disappointed.
No, it's been solid so far, and a timeout drawn from Unjustified here at this point. They know they can buy. It might take some fancy accounting, but they can get a buy up regardless. They might be discussing if they want to or not, if they want to go for something weird as well. Also, Cyrix only has 1 kill, and that was that 1 op duel towards Canals, the first round that Unjustified won against Take Flight.
That's a good point. It was that op duel from Canal right at the start of the round, right off the rip. Meanwhile, it has been Take Flight holding down the B side that has really given them some advantages. Kojimo supporting Gabe, who was the anchor. Gabe also supporting towards middle as needed, holding towards exit sign, for example. Those two have been menaces in the server. They both have more kills than their remaining 3 teammates combined. So, they have done incredibly well for themselves and their team. All their kills have been incredibly impactful as well.
Now, you can't fault Zaylor either. He's been the A anchor, and they haven't really gone A. So, he's just kind of sitting there hanging out, twiddling his thumbs, watching his teammates get all the kills, saying, hey, good round, guys. Thanks. So, everyone on Take Flight has done the job they've had to when called upon, but Gabe and Kojo definitely a cut above right now. Of course, it is easier on the CT side of things, although I am expecting to see a little bit more variety when the sides swap. It's a good timed flashbang, and Unjustified were beginning to creep forward through A main. Kojo could get caught off guard, though. He's swapping back and forth between different angles. Nade's going to go telegraph this. Zaylor will actually only dodge one of those. Eats the other. Peeks out. No, he's holding. He peeks out late, and that will be his undoing. Deagle shotgun style. Kojo hits one onto Cyrix, though, and will back away. Staying alive as his teammates in. Molotov through. Pot shot taken, no connection. In comes Sandman, though. Night Lake. As Arcade falls as well. Sandman still here. The spray will convert. Wolffe, the last one alive as the bomb ticks away. No 1v4 knows where they're coming from. But too many targets, too little health, and too little cover. Gabe puts him down. And that'll be 6-3 for Take Flight. The bomb plant won't even facilitate a full heavy investment from Unjustified. A half buy much more likely here. And a 7-3 scoreline incredibly likely in the favor of Take Flight.
On the CT side of Anubis as well. It's an important note. This map has been relatively sided towards the offensive. Unjustified not finding much success. As you mentioned, a half buy is very prudent. It will come through. 3 Tech 9s and 2 Deagles, though. That screams an aggressive play. Which direction will they go? It looks like mid is going to be the call. Arcade pressuring forward through the Molotov, just racing forward. Sandman, he will hold his ground over towards the temple entrance, but he's going to be smoked off. It's aggressive, a split coming through. Will survive, sure, but a lot of control taken, and Tech 9 will do the first, and Zaylor taken down on A. Leaves the op in a very precarious spot. He'll push forward with the pistol and hoping to grab the AK, but instead it's just caught Lake 1 and 2 as he drives by. Sandman as well. MDS and Gabe, the last 2, they were both towards B. They are both shut out of the A site, and they are both headed for the hills as well. Save these weapons for the following. Drop Zaylor a rifle, drop Kojo an op, and go from there. That is their best case scenario in this round.
Nate, I think I've cracked the code here for Unjustified. Just by pistols.
Pistols and quick.
Yep. I think that's the strat right now. They're overwhelming the Take Flight players. It's very hard to get multi-kills in CS2. If you just get bum rushed, you're not going to have a good time. So. Woo. There you go. Nice little swing there from Spirits. That's the second of the game. 6-4. And now it up. Oh, all 5 eliminated at the tail end of this one. That's an extra bonus for Unjustified here. Take Flight. They'll buy up. They'll get some guns. But now, what is the play? What can they do? Because a loss here essentially ensures a 6-6 scoreline.
I'm going to say that it eliminates any possibility of building any sort of advantage going into the second. A lot riding on a round like this. Unjustified could eke by. Essentially a 0-0 scoreline going into the second half. It's an op for Kojo again, though, and no op to rival it from Unjustified. Cyrix has doubled his kill count since we last mentioned him. It's a slower round with a B lean from the attacking side. Gabe still has that trusty AUG. He has done good work with it from this plat. Has his second support on the back side as well. It's going to be a stock standard execute in towards B. Gabe is going to hold it down, finding one of the AUG. Lucky shot onto Seb. Four as well. It's an awkward duel around the edges. Gabe another. Cyrix finally takes him down. The damage has been done. The rotations have come through, and as we mentioned, the new smoke physics make things incredibly awkward. MDS dancing around one of said smokes, looks for something. They need to set up post points now if they want to survive. Nade goes into the smoke, doesn't quite force it to dissipate. It doesn't matter. Sailor trades his teammate 3 versus 2 for take. Flyte Wolffe trying to support his teammate from B. Smoke has dissipated. Arcade has to strike. He does, as does his teammate. All 3 kills go the way of Unjustified. They do win. Very surprising 2 versus 3 post-plant situation. Very well played by those two on the site.
Very well done indeed, Arcade, with a nice crispy little tap at the end there to solidify it all. And Unjustified, it started off poorly, it got nice and even, then it went south again, and they're about to bring it back if they can. SMGs, 2 Deagles, and a 5-7 for take Flyte. 0 defuse kits, minimal utility. Unjustified have a 6-6 scoreline on a platter, on a plate, served by a butler with a British accent, in full tuxedo and white gloves. But can they actually grab the meal and devour it? Arcade starts it off nicely. Down goes one of those Deagles. Lake thinks better of the Molotov, and instead watches where his teammate was coming from. That was an interesting choice there.
I was going to behead him for a second there, but I was watching the drop off. Like trying to get aggressive, hoping for something, but no. 2 players fall. MDS surely falls as well. Yep, Lake takes him down. Last alive is just Zayler. He's over towards A. Nothing he can really do in this one.
Maybe 1, but that's just stat padding. Nope, not even. Arcade finishes him off. We're all tied at 6 as we head to half number 2.
Don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. These miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue?
Match could quite literally not be closer to 6-6, tied neck and neck as we enter the second half. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and Take Flight now take the T side with a varied pistol investment. P250 for MDS. There are dualies present as well in this pistol round for the defending side of Unjustified. 2 dually sets on Lake and Arcade. Lake here over towards Box might have a lot of action heading his way as well. Actually fall back towards the platform. 2 players are here. Kojima taking point with the Glock. Finds the head of the first. He was a fiery starter on half number 1, and he will do so yet again here and now. Sandman avenges Kojima, taking down a pair and leaving just Arcade. Arcade on the flank is expected by 1. He will send Zaylor down to the depths with the dualies, and a second as well onto Gabe. Now things get interesting. Sandman on the plat is isolated. That's the dualies taking down. No, the P2K, excuse me. MDS, the last alive, down below. The will try to find his way in. He might find one. No, not even that. Running out of bullets. Arcade again with the dualies to do him in. Boggs, you said they felt awkward, but they found tremendous success in the pistol round for Unjustified.
Yeah, maybe it's just me. Jeez. Arcade makes him look easy, and Unjustified able to make the retake happen. The only problem is they allowed Take Flight to get the bomb down. So that's going to be facilitated force here for the Take Flight side. Galil's on 3, Mac 10's on 2. Some utilities, some flashbangs to get those SMGs up close and personal. 2 M4s, 1 A1S, 1 A4, a FAMAS, a Scout, and an MP9. An incongruous buy for Unjustified. And we'll see what they can go for here, if they can actually get anything done. Nade goes out to Canal, will do nothing. There's nobody there. MDS going in towards A main. Only 1 player here on site proper. That's Seb holding a decently long-range angle with an MP9 of all guns. Might not be the best of choices here. Rotations will try and come through. Seb closing that angle too. Kojo's got to be careful here as he peeks into it, but he does catch the right timing and dive back down. He stays alive, but in comes Arcade, traded by MDS. Seb still up towards Heaven, backs away. Sees the rotation come through. Nice one onto Kojo. Wolffe will take out Sandman. MDS will have to trade. 3v2, Unjustified man advantage. Wolffe making his way in through main. There's 1 stuck on site. That is Zaylor with the Mac 10. He can't really fight ranged. He will only do half the impact onto Wolffe. MDS expected and removed. Unjustified. They get their first lead in the first round of this half, and now they grow it to 2. Another bomb plant, sure, but will Take Flight actually full invest this time? Probably not. A half buy much more likely. And an opportunity for Unjustified to get up to 9. Only thing is, the pistols have proven deadly on Unjustified's own T side. And a timeout called by Take Flight. A wise decision to really figure out what they want to do economically here, because that 13th round comes up a lot faster now that it's the final round that you need to achieve victory.
Definitely does. And in spite of the scoreline, it did feel like Take Flight were far more in control of this map leading up to this point. Keep in mind, sure, it was a 6-6 half, but 2 of the 6 rounds and 2 of the main pieces, I would say, for Unjustified having anything to work with was save round wins. They won 2 rounds with pistols. once with a Tech 9 rush, and once with like a couple deagles and a P250, if I'm not mistaken. Like next to nothing invested.
The deagles and the P250 got all the kills.
Exactly. So running one deagle at one point, the P250 towards middle opened it up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
The pistols were what gave them some breathing room, and again, they now build their lead with a pistol round victory in half number 2. Flyte try to do their best impression, buying some deagles, 4 to be exact, 1 P250 for Kojimo, and speaking of, he just eats a chunky nade down to 29. Unjustified. They're cobbled together by it, but it doesn't matter. It's 4 rifles and an MP9 versus just these pistols. It should be their round, but again, I've seen the pistols do very, very random things.
Yeah, the pistols can be very decisive in CS2. Although, Take Flight seem a lot more content to default with them rather than Unjustified's more death ball, throw bodies at the problem, and hey, if we hit our shots, we hit our shots solution. It worked for Unjustified. Take Flight might have been wise to take a page out of their opponent's playbook. Instead, the clock has ticked down under a minute, and they still are in a 1-3-1 default. No real map control, no information, 0 utility. And now, down a man. The pistols are moving too slow, Nate.
Down a heavy hitting man. He was at 16. He died on an island over towards B. Arcade gets information towards mid. That's all he needs to do. He can just play back with this Galil. Throw some nades in as well. 1 and 2 secure with the Galil. He might fall here to the third player, but he's done his work. And actually, Cyrix is here to support, to shore up the defenses. Doesn't see anyone fall away. Kojo, he shouldn't have anything to do in this round. 10 seconds left. He just has to die, honestly. Run in with the P250. Maybe get a kill, but ideally just fall before the round expires. He'll run in. There's no way to find that. And in fact, no kill will come in for the attacking side. Seb takes down Zayler. And 9 secured for Unjustified. They did well to keep that round convincing. All 5 players survived. Gives them a solid bonus going into round number 16. Do have a pause called as well.
Technical pause here. And we'll see what exactly does come forth from this one. What did we decide technical pauses were, Nate, after that one game? We had a whole bunch of them and a whole bunch of attacks. I think we decided mech pause was probably the one that sounds the best.
That was a good one. Tech, mech. We're brainstorming so many. It's been so long.
Yes.
We say it was the last broadcast. The last broadcast was like a month ago. The oops pause is a good one. Yeah. Did I write anything down? I don't think so. It is crazy. We disappeared for a month and we come back and it's basically a whole new video game.
It really is. Everything feels different. Movement, guns. Inferno is a completely different animal.
Oh yeah.
It's weird, man.
Sure, they pick out skyboxes, but they add just high buildings.
Yep.
So they act like skyboxes, but they're actually real.
Except for the fact that with the skybox, you could dunk things down, which I really liked.
It's true. There's some arches you can do that with, but not nearly as many.
No.
So we did have a disconnect. Hopefully this issue will be rectified sooner rather than later. He has joined the server at least, so.
Will we get a match medic?
Probably, but I'm hoping that's easier in CS2, although I have no idea.
It might be harder.
Yeah. Teething problems. Gotta give it about 3 months. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
We got it all.
Was Wolffe one of the ones who died?
No one died on the defense in that last round.
Then armor?
I think he had maybe a Galil that he dropped to Seb, who then got an MP9. Who had an MP9 and now has a Galil. Either way, I know there was an MP9 up and it's no longer here.
Yep.
So that's what I think has happened. Rifle swapped over. Regardless, that was a very quick tech pause by all measures. And we do finally have rifles out as well for Take Flight. Lackluster utility, but we do have the op for Kojimo. He has slowed down quite a bit, but he could very well get... Okay, never mind. I was saying he could get the ball rolling on the attacking side. However, he is the first casualty instead. Lake sends him to a shallow grave, beheading him through the smoke. That is the best start that the defense could ask for.
It's something that Take Flight desperately needed was an opening, but Unjustified with that opening blue one. The peek from the op yields no fruit. Nice little molly there from Arcade. He's just going to hold the line. Gabe goes through the fire, and the flames, how much further will he carry on? He slips through the smoke. He's made a little inroad in towards AMDS. Picks up one for B anyways, but Lake and Arcade will find a pair. Gabe will get one more back, but he's discovered doesn't matter, though. A site is his. Minor problem, Nate. The bomb is on the opposite side of the map. Pretty much as kitty corner as you could get. So
I think the play was send Gabe through. Hopefully his steps draw them off of the B site, and those two can push in and get some information. But bring the bomb, go back, or they're finding the timing. Take Flight might have overthought this round, and it could very well undo a precarious situation. Sailor on site, but his teammate falls. It's just Sailor. Got a very lackluster map thus far, and this round is no different. He'll get one post-mortem with the Flames, but still 10 for Unjustified as they secure the round. It was a very tight-knit one, only one player surviving, but a win is a win. They are now within touching distance. 3 more rounds, and they will have map number 1.
3 more. And they are undefeated so far on the CT side. It's 4 straight. And if you go back to the previous half, Nate, we're at 7 straight rounds for Unjustified. And they don't look like slowing down either. There's a good read in the last round. Gabe got some damage done, sure. But they heard his footsteps rotating away. They didn't stick around for too long. They made their way back to B as fast as they could. Utility's going to be light for Take Flight here as well. Wolffe getting some canals control, peering over that smoke. I don't know if that's an intentional one way or not, but he does get a little bit of information here and there. The timing's going to go against him. Molly out, well timed. Forces 2 players back and away. Time draining from the clock here. The hourglass is going to run out. Unjustified holding their nerve, still with a Molotov to stall, and MDS will take a little bit of nade damage here. The bomb and the majority of Take Flight again thundered from one another. Flashbang doesn't work though. Wolffe misses the spray. MDS gets the headshot. And here's an inroad for Take Flight here, but Bless Lake can come through. And Arcade joins it from up top. Nice 1 and 2, make it a 3-punch combo. And now Arcade will add a 4th to the round, 3rd to his own name. Game last there. For how much longer, Arcade just goes hunting, full confidence play. This is a wonderful situation for Gabe, but Seb denies. 2 more rounds, anti-penultimate.
I will say, I am noticing a distinct lack of one thing, Bugs. One thing that I was expecting to see on this
Nade
map.
smoke combo.
Nade smoke combo. The thing that we see every single pro player doing when they stream Premiere and just grind MM points. Just nade smoke, nade smoke, nade smoke. They do it so often. Yeah, I'm not seeing it at all in this matchup. Now, I will say I think it's been toned down a bit compared to what it was, and it can be punished very easily as well, but still love to see it. Blind MDS takes down Lake. That is a big kill to find from one of those 2 hero AKs. This is an investment to take place. It all on this round, hoping to find something, and Sandman doubles down, pushing into the site, taking the player E-box. Arcade sure this fast rotation could do something, but it's being watched. Rifle's also being recovered. MDS another with the AK. Headshot onto Arcade, sends the defense reeling. Cyrix and Seb, excuse me, both falling away, giving up the round. Kojo is going to hunt. Sandman probably should as well. They do finally put their foot down, Take Flight, but they do not have any wiggle room left. They have to start winning rounds. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, to put this into Counter-Strike Global Offensive terms, this is essentially Unjustified at 13. Actually, closer to 14, really. It's Unjustified at 14.
Yeah, it is 14, I would say.
And Seb? Is Gabe just that much better with Seb taking a nap?
Gabe's at 22. I'm going to go with Gabe is better. Purely off of that stat.
Yeah,
Because
22 and 11.
A juggernaut.
Nate, remember when Kojo was like 11 and 3?
Yeah, at the start of the game, like round 4.
Yeah, he's got 1 kill since.
Yeah, his opping kind of slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
And as we mentioned, it's not nearly as easy to peek with the op into rifles. It's not easy to be peeked into. Attacking with an op in general on this map is very difficult. It makes sense that he's slowing down, but we can't have him slow down that much. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, he needs to have done a little bit more towards the tail end of that half, too. That's a big issue for Take Flyte. Unjustified, not really even having to specifically target somebody. They're just kind of going about their business. And it's working.
It is. Attack pause was drawn out from Unjustified. And it has expired. What are they doing? They're going to go for a buy. Okay, you know what? They're going for a buy. Cyrix is saving 2K for an op in the round after next. But
they could still win this, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, but assuming it goes according to plan, they could win it. They have won 2 full save rounds, and it has a lot more bark than those rounds we saw in the first half.
I like the passivity from Take Flyte over towards B, potentially expecting another push, which Unjustified have tried, guns or no. And a little bit more A main presence from Take Flyte as well. 3 players the bomb there as well. Big miss from Sandman, though. It's Cyrix on the Deagle. Gun upgrade available. Arcade sees all the utility fly in. He's just going to back up into heaven. Lake's going to creep in on towards the site, though. Look to get 1 or maybe 2 up close. Blinded. MDS and Gabe open up this tight. Bomb can go down here. Arcade still trying to make a game of it, though. Damage is there. Not quite the kill. Arcade, how are you alive? He dodges back in. Is still alive. Not quite sent there yet. Finally falls down. Cyrix does get 1 more. That's Gabe out down. If Kojo loses this fight, okay, this is game on. This is retake territory.
It should be retake territory. Should be. It's a big operative there.
It surely should have been.
It should have been, but there was a player already headed for the hills. That was Cyrix. He was across the map. He was already set in stone, not going to go for it, and that kind of just gives away the round. That AK spray very fickle. Cyrix could find some damage. No. Taylor. Good exit to find that kill on the player stairs. CT spawn. Last alive is Seb. He should survive. There's no way someone looks in this direction over towards A long. Scrappy round ends in the favor of Take Flyte. 2 in a row secured. Now 3 rounds separating these 2 teams. Unjustified should go for pistols once more at most.
Yeah, just play around Seb's rifle. Maybe send the pistols as a death ball out since they always go B, maybe mid or A. Or even something towards a canals. And just let Seb kind of do his own thing or even back up the push. Yeah, they're going for an A main play with the pistols here and canals, I believe, as well. I like this change of pace here for Unjustified. It's the pistols, a lineup there. Nade kill plus Zaylor on the spray. Nice, easy finish for Take Flyte, although Unjustified made the right call. And Take Flyte went back towards A again, knowing how much pressure Unjustified like to put to the B site. Although I think the next round we're going to see a much more passive, a much more disciplined CT side from Unjustified. Take Flyte have now drawn within 2.
They will have. Still 2 USPs up. Never say never. I do like sending the rifle out. Ooh, you highlighted it. That is interesting. I like that. I'm sure I've seen that before. Sailor, the hold in the angle. Finds 1. Should find the second as well. This player's like towards the knife, towards the rifle. Not a chance in the world. Sailor wasn't pretty, but he gets it done. Kill secured and a 9th as well. As you mentioned, 2 rounds separating these teams. Take Flyte flying, finding a second wind to ride upon. But this is where the going gets tough. This is where you can either break the CT side and potentially tie it up by extension, or where Unjustified can snag away a 12th and at least guarantee overtime.
The opping duel might be a factor here. Cyrix not exactly having more kills than Kojo, but has actually won that opper's duel the one time it actually happened. Bomb left in spawn for Take Flyte. 2-2-1 set up for Unjustified. Cyrix soloing the A site, 2 in mid, 2 on B. Again, much more passive here, and just the mid players kind of probing for some sort of information, but not really overextending. Flashing in possibly for Zaylor, waiting for that smoke to fade. He'll flash himself in. Don't think that was intended to do what it did, but Zaylor's going to keep peeking anyway.
now.
Yes.
Everything. That window. Fickle beast, evidently. Actually, the flash, if the smoke wasn't there, would have been very good. Walk-in for MDS is punished. We've seen a lot of just out on an island presses over towards B from this attacking side that have gone completely flat. And speaking of completely flat, this A take has been flattened by the steamroller that is the Op M4 combo. Sandman and Kojimo, the last two remaining. Kojimo still at 12, as you mentioned before. Sandman had an okay game for himself, but in these kinds of odds, I can't really take any sort of confidence out on this attacking side. 28 seconds remaining, 2 versus 5, no inroads anywhere, and a stalwart defense mustered. I mentioned they could eke out a 12th and get themselves to overtime at the very least, and that is the reality that we now face. Sure, Take Flight have enough money to reinvest, but Unjustified will have essentially 3 rounds to try and break this T side one last time.
Counter-terrorists win.
The op, money, it's a possibility for Take Flight to mount a comeback. But it's not going to be easy. They're still stuck on the runway, Nate. And given how much room there is left, they better have a vertical takeoff craft if they're going to get something out of this. No more margin for error. One little hiccup, and they've lost their map pick. Ancient is next as well. And if Anubis is anything to go by, I feel like Unjustified would go into that one as favorites, just given they might not have had all the utility knowledge which Take Flight have on this map. Take Flight had a lot of fun utility on that CT side. They've had some good utility on T as well. Unjustified have more or less made it work by taking ground and winning fights with more practical pop flashing and buddy swinging things than Take Flight with more of their cerebral artillery strikes, especially on that CT side. Unjustified have more brute forced this, but it's worked, and it's worked in spades.
It's definitely worked, and we've seen 2 very different defensives as well. It's like a 3-person stack towards B for Unjustified versus the 2 for Take Flight. Also, a far more passive hold was mustered by Take Flight in the first half than Unjustified towards the middle. Clashing of styles. And while you can't deny it, the go-round victories are really what gave Unjustified the possibility going into the second half to give them props on this defensive side for starting things off so strongly. Sandman finds something in his team's favor, though. Something for Take Flight to use. Kill secured enough. Seb isolated. He'll try to swing on timing. Does so much damage, but can't get the kill. Kojo and MDS find one apiece. Sandman finishes what Seb started, finding his own teammate, taking him down. First casualty in the round for the offensive side, but it shouldn't matter. This is going to be a 10th round for Take Flight, unless something truly unexpected happens.
Nope.
That was a tap from Zaylor.
That was a nice tap from Zaylor. Meanwhile, Sandman pulls out the, "I will finish what you started."
Give them something to be happy about, I suppose.
Yeah.
And again, the money is inconsequential for them now. If they lose, they lose. Gabe hunting around, looking for this final player. It would be a big one to find. Sirix does have the op in hand. He's towards Temple, holding the Temple push from middle. No one's heading in his direction, and so he should live to fight another day. 10 to 12. Still 2 rounds required for Take Flight if they want to go to overtime. If not, they'll have to fight another day on Ancient later today.
Well, we will get Ancient regardless.
Yeah, I was gonna say later today means immediately after this, but
yeah,
and it will happen no matter what. I agree, but will it be sooner or will it be later? Exactly. It's never over till it's over.
Nope. It's never over till that final round is won or lost, depending on your point of view. Wolffe, that was a little more messy, but he gets out of that relatively clean. Gets a dink and a double on the Sandman. MDS and Gabe are going to trade this back, but in comes Arcade with a little bit of a Deagle spam backstab. The op is there for Sirix. 5-7 and Deagle for Arcade and Seb. Gabe and Kojo, the last two standing. Kojo walking unawares, clears the corner, but not hard enough. Lucky to get alive. Tech9 out, headshot delivered. Death to Seb. Gabe, he's there on B, and now bringing the bomb towards A. Cyrix is in an opportunity here. This rotation, he swaps back to the ops, sees the Tech9, has to be careful of the backstab now, and he's ready for it. Cyrix kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. No teammate support from Arcade just yet. Kojo up in hand. He's stepping. Cyrix here misses the shot. That's incredible. He's still alive somehow before Gabe puts him down. Arcade now 1v2, and they're walking into his waiting arms. He's heard them. He knows. He's ready. In comes the swing, and Kojo brings us to the maximum round of 24.
We do get there, but that was one of, if not the ugliest duel that I have seen yet on Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah, I will not disagree.
I was like, do you want to count that as an op duel for your statistics, Boggs?
No,
I don't. I don't even count it as a duel. I don't want to remember it at all, actually.
That was a circus act.
That was. Literally dancing around the circle.
That was something.
It was something, but you know what? Take Flyte do seize the day at the very least. They do give themselves a real chance at overtime. Unjustified. Utility is a little bit lacking. They do have a kit. They do have rifles, they have armor. They do tick off all of the boxes. 4 AKs and an op versus 4 A4s. You love to see that in the op for Unjustified.
I'm liking the A4s back in action. But there's Kojo to remove one of those. Arcade, who's been the heaviest hitter for Unjustified, out of this round. Overtime is looming. Molotov out. Time still there for Take Flight to sweat out Unjustified. Wolffe. A bit of a rock and a hard play situation here. And Molotov will not last that long. It fades now. In comes the take. Wolffe is alive. His teammates fallen. Lake has gone down. Wolffe, how's he got 2 around the pillar? He goes for 3, but he cannot find it. MDS looking to get alive. Cyrix missing shots, clearing goalposts. Maybe sign him as an NFL kicker with those ones, but Seb has to 1v3 now. 30 seconds on the clock. Can Seb stop the bomb plant? He runs and he dies. We're going to overtime here, folks. 12-all the score. And, well, since it is MR12, we're not going to go to the break just yet. We are going to do that for overtime, too, if we get that far. We'll see. Nate, this has been
not what I expected.
A bipolar performance from both teams.
It's been difficult. It's been interesting. I would say in high-pressure situations, the hardest weapon to use, the op. We've seen it fumble the bag so many times. Twice there for Cyrix. Many times in that circus act, as you mentioned, that we're trying to forget, but keep on harkening back to. It's a very fickle weapon indeed. 12.5k overtime. Still 3 rounds per half, like the old CSGO overtime.
I'm fine
straight into the action as well. Yeah, I'm fine with that as well. I think we can all agree that for overtimes we were at a sweet spot.
Yes, I agree. And it's way better than 1-1-1-1 from the game we shall not name.
The all or nothing overtimes do suck.
Yeah, this is a lot better. And the funny thing is, too, it's literally a quarter of the game. Like the quarter of a regulation period.
It is. I like the mid-round aggression from Unjustified. They have gone for these presses on the extremities quite a few times, and this time around it does work out. Taking down that heavy hitter, and again, isolating a player on an island over towards the B main. What is the adjustment from Take Flight? What do they do in response? They've lost their heavy hitter. They lost their juggernaut. Now they have to make inroads elsewhere. Unjustified are already reading this. They're bolstering the defense over towards A. Arcade towards middle does take a lot of damage. A little challenge around this smoke. MDS holding. Good shot from him. Will even up the scoreline. Holding from heaven. Doesn't hit the first, but he will recover with the second. MDS dispatched. And advantage maintained. Seb on site finds one. Sandman and Kojimo, though, answer in kind. Tie us right back up. Bomb plant should be forthcoming. Lake, though, emerging from the murky depths. as a very timely flank.
Nade will do some damage onto Kojo, down to 44 HP. Sandman will have to be cleared out of heaven, though. Fake flash, Kojo 1, Sandman none. Op needs to watch. Will it do so? Pistol out, back to the Op. 50 caliber AWP. Wolffe wins the duel. The Op again does not win in the clutch. And Unjustified gain the first round of overtime number 1 here on map number 1. Nate, wasn't CS2 supposed to shorten the game times?
Yes.
We're at 56 minutes.
We've had a couple tech pauses, okay?
They've been short, though.
They have been short, but they have been numerous. There's 2, at least. And a couple attack pauses. We also had more than a few save attempts as well that have gone awry in the final stages of said saves. Might be the nature of these two teams to make this game a long one. Of course, the overtime does not help. Kojo and Sirix both have ops in hand. 4 A4s versus a Krieg on Sandman and 3 AKs.
I like this. I like it. Have you tried the Krieg in CS2? It's viable again. It's not quite Krieg meta CSGO good, but it's good. I like that call by Sandman.
I still think it's very good for holding niche lines, by holding passive in one direction or another. Using a Krieg on a very tight angle to find the one-shot headshot could very well work. Lots of utility exchanged over towards the box. Smoke will go down from Wolffe. Yes, will fall back because of it. Throwing a nade and smoke fade. And players still on an island for take flight. We have one holding. That's Gabe over towards B main. He hasn't been pressured yet. MDS also alone pressuring in towards E-Box. Here's the mid-round aggression, perhaps coming from Unjustified. They double up towards E-Box. No, instead they'll just smoke it. Wait, I say that, but they're tempted to try something through the smoke.
Look at the time. The bomb is split. They're going to try and draw rotations. MDS can do it all, but he goes down. Surely they don't all leave. They've all left the site. They've seen no bomb, and they've all left. Sirix going back. Big miss by Kojo after getting the first one. Bomb going in, but Sirix falls. What can Lake do? He's got to do it all. Arcade's kill elsewhere doesn't mean anything as the bomb has gone down, and we're in a 2v2 situation. Sandman can post the ESG. He's gonna have to take a fight. Arcade gets a lot of damage onto Gabe, but not quite the kill. Seb's made all the noise. They know where he's coming from. They're double up as well. Seb's gotta win both fights. He doesn't even get the first. Tied up 13 all. The last round of the first half of OT1. This one, Nate, I feel is gonna go on potentially for a very long time. The way this keeps on going.
Don't say that. Why are you jinxing it? Don't summon the long game gods. You can't jinx it. Gabe slowed down measurably. And 25 by the end of regulation. I think for even a few rounds before that, he had 25 as well. Only at 27 now. Still impressive, but yeah, nice for him to wake up in this team with the Arcade pressuring middle again. Unjustified like probing in different directions. This time around it's very early on, and it does find early success. Arcade drops Sandman. The Krieg wielder towards middle. Gabe will try to press in his teammate's stead, but Unjustified have already left this part of the map vacated.
Down goes Arcade, 4v4. Bomb going towards what is essentially an open ace side, just one defender, easily smoked out as Seb will have to retreat from mollies and smokes. In comes Take Flight. Bomb will go down shortly. Seb found through that smoke. Tracer fire giving away his position. A good response from Zayler. And a very tough retake here for Unjustified. Take Flight back in some control. Timing! Sirix able to back away. There's no reason to save here in the last round of the half. Forces that nade through. Does a lot of damage here, but there's one kill. Lake with another. In comes Zayler to help out Kojo in the 2v3. Smoke's going down. Time beginning to flounder here for Unjustified. Kojo still around. Low on health. Zayler yet to make a interference either. Missed shot,
Defuse,
down
defuse.
goes Sailor, defuse
Oh.
in, and we're gonna see a narrow escape for Unjustified as we move into the second half of OT1.
You saw Kojima's line up there.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm going to mention. He was going to go for that no-scope. If he had a fraction of a second longer, it could have very well landed.
Yep.
No-scopes feel hit and miss on CS2. They don't feel quite the same, but you know Kojima's not averse to going for a no-scope here and there. He actually lost a round by going for one. So, could have very well landed and made that round an interesting one. But of course, not quite enough time to pull the trigger. Sirix has the op on the T side. Kojo onto the CT as well. We do have a Sandman following in Gabe's footsteps, picking up an AUG for this defensive side. If Take Flight want to take this one, they have to win all 3 defensive rounds in this overtime.
Not going to be easy for Take Flight to finish the job in OT1. I think their goal is more getting to OT2 and moving from there. Still, not exactly the easiest course of action here, Nate. Unjustified can put Take Flight's back against the wall again. It's been a while since they were on T side. And they're gearing up for a death ball B. 1 through E-Box and Canal, that's Seb. Everyone else grouped up outside of B. MDS might get flashed in. If he takes this big drive, it's not going to involve flash in. They're not blind at all. Wolffe had Lake there too. Opening pick. Good flash onto Gabe. Tag down very low. Jojo falls down. So does Gabe. Lake and Arcade entering the site quite well. Good spacing and good utility support. Sandman and Sailor making their way downtown. Walking fast. No faces are passing. And they're certainly not homebound because this one is going upside down. They're going to try and save here, surely, because Sailor's wanting nothing to do with this retake. Sandman does get 1 in passing. Not going to affect anything at all. Unjustified, more map points to come forth here.
Did well to find this round. Exploiting Take Flight's attempt at aggression. I also wanted to highlight Take Flight, no util damage in that round. They didn't throw their nades nearly as liberally as they did in the first half. 15-13 secured. Unjustified win one of the next 2 rounds, and they take this map and send us off. Map number 2.
All rests on these next 2 rounds again for Take Flight. They've stayed alive. But can they move from just surviving to at least going on an offensive with a road to victory? Right now, they've been on defense, just playing catch-up, trying to stay in the staving off that eventual map victory or Unjustified. Spray down onto Sandman, who's gone for a double op setup here. The nade will not connect. The Sandman jumps around, retreating away. Smoke will not wall him off. He's in a bit of an exposed position here, though, to peer around that. Unjustified, though, taking it slow and steady, not wanting to rush into anything here. They do not know there are 2 ops just yet. That could be a monkey wrench.
Spanner in the works, perhaps. A very tight angle over towards aim and an aggressive posture as well. Sort of smoke time is everything, though. They might just go through it. In towards the middle. These players are now stuck in towards A. They're going to try to hold it as long as possible. That nade was a little too shallow. Kind of popping smoke. There's nothing more. This is the top. Kojima finds one. Seb drops MDS for him while Kojima has to come in big. 1 and 2. Wolffe, though, beheads him. And the player on site, Sailor, he will find a trade, sure, but he's run down by Seb. Sears through the choke point. Sears another with the op. It leaves just Sandman. He's on a flank, but it's not very quick. 1 versus 2 required to keep Take Flight in map number 1.
Good nade, takes him down to 13. His counter will do the same to Seb. But Zerix over the smoke will make it a 16-13 for Unjustified here on the map pick of Take Flight. We didn't really know what to expect, though, Nate. That's why I tore up my note page and tossed it behind me somewhere in that pre-show. Unjustified, though. It wasn't the pretty